Hey, what's up everyone? So mile 305, I think it's day 4 on the road, and got my first flat tire. Womp womp. Kind of sucks. I was like less than 10 miles away from gym, Planet Fitness. I was all excited about taking a shower and washing some of my clothes and just kind of relaxing, charging up all my batteries because there's been nothing but rain the last few days. So solar panels were pretty much useless. But yeah, I ended up getting a flat, and kind of sucked I got the flat, but at least I got it in a decent spot. I was able to just like pretty much right away pull off the road next to some train tracks. I really doubt I'm supposed to be around here, but came here anyways. Seems pretty secluded. Gonna do some stealth camping a little early, not too bad. It's like 3-ish or something right now. Been having some problems with my bike though. My bike, the back has been a bit wobbly. I'm not sure if it's the spokes or if the hub just needs to be adjusted or what's going on with it. So it's something I was kind of putting off because it wasn't too bad, but now that I got the flat, I'm gonna go ahead and take it all apart and just dive right in and see what I could do with it. Hopefully I could fix it. If not, I'm not too far away from a main town, right around where my gym's at. So hopefully I could at least fix the flat tire and then get to like a bike shop or something and see if I can go ahead and have that tuned up or fixed or whatever. Hopefully it won't cost too much because my bike was like dirt cheap, couple $100 or something like that, a few hundred. It was like so cheap. And I did it on purpose to kind of challenge myself and to just kind of, you know, figure out what I really need. So when I go ahead and spend some real money, I'll pick up the proper bike. So yeah, hopefully it'll last me at least till Mexico and it won't be too much maintenance. Worst case scenario, I'll dump it and pick up a real bike. But hopefully I won't have to do that. So anyways, yeah. So, oh yeah, and by the way, as far as the flat goes, so I'm sitting there on the side of the road. It's like a highway. It's Interstate 5. It was the fastest way before I branch off. And I noticed, because there's a bunch of trash along the highway. So there's a bunch of like those little metal like shards or whatever you call it that you see like, it's kind of like that metal bracing that you see all the webbing on tires. And I don't know if you noticed, but on the side of the highway there's always like strips of tires, because I guess like the big tires you see on semis and stuff, they just kind of like re-glue the treads on a lot of those tires, and over time a lot of them just kind of whip off. I don't know if you noticed them just kind of like off to the side of the highway, and they all have that webbing on them. So I must have ran over some of it and not even knowing or whatever, and I think that kind of caused the flat. But I'm sitting there on the side of the road just pumping, and nothing's going on. I'm like, something wrong with the pump? Like, am I holding it right? Am I, you know what I mean, just constantly readjusting? Yeah, I look a little closer, and like the Schrader valve, you know, the part that you like connect to, was like half friggin' ripped off. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I didn't like, you know, muscle it on or nothing, so that was kind of weird. But luckily I have some spare tubes. Hopefully it's the right size. So I'm gonna go ahead and like I said, I'm gonna dive in, take care of all those little problems hopefully, and throw that spare tire in. Oh, another thing, one of the spokes seem to be super loose. Don't know what's going on with that. I hope it's not busted. So yeah, wish me luck. Hopefully that works out. You know what, let me flip it around. I can even show you guys. This is gonna be home for the night. Right behind these bushes. Unfortunately the highway is right there, and then right in between, it's hard to see, there's some train tracks. But luckily they're just gonna drive by, so it's not, hopefully I won't hear all that, you know, the whistling or whatever. I can actually see the tracks right there. There's some houses way back in the distance there, and then I noticed there's like a little path. Hoping it's not an animal path. It's pretty worn. Hopefully it's not hopefully no people are gonna be jogging through with some dogs or anything either. But hey, it is what it is. All right, let's see. Let me show you the bike. So this sucks. Look. So I got the flat, and like I said, I was pulling off some of those little metal shards or whatever you call it. There was a few pieces, but it wasn't too bad. And then you can see right here, See, it's just like ripped off. See it? Don't know how the heck that happened, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm just gonna go ahead and replace that, and hopefully that'll be all set. And then, yeah, you can see this one here is pretty loose. But you know what? I don't know if it's... I had one of these little reflectors in the back, and it kept getting loose and sliding down, and now it just like disappeared. So I don't know if it got caught on something and just got, you know, all, and just like it damaged the spoke or whatever and popped off. So, and then another thing too, I noticed there's like a little, see that? I can move it like a good maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. Is that normal, guys? See it? Should I tighten that up, or is that normal? I know these guys, I'm like so green when it comes to this stuff. I have no idea. So I almost want to take it apart and tighten it up a little bit, but I don't want to screw anything up. See it? So let me know, guys, if you think that's an issue or not, if I should go ahead and take care of it. I'm going to upload this video tonight, so I'll be here and I could go ahead and work on it. One other issue I have here is my panniers. These were cheap too. They were like 50 bucks a piece or something. Nothing great. But you could see this one actually already busted right there. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna try and clip it back on and somehow, some way try and rig it. I have a feeling this thing is just gonna like pop off on me, man. That would suck really bad if it did. But hey, you know what? None of this is, you know, something that money can't take care of. So, you know, it's not gonna stop me. It's just gonna be a pain in the butt. Hey, I didn't get to the tire yet. I was just working on my pannier. And something else, kind of ghetto, but I'm gonna see. I think it's gonna work out. I don't know, we'll see. Today I ended up stopping at the dollar store. I resupplied there. It was just convenient, you know, it was easy. I just picked up like beans and mashed potato. No, I'm just kidding. If you guys see my other video, you'll get the joke. But yeah, I ended up picking up a bunch of just whatever, just quick camp food. And when I was there, I noticed they had a dollar mirror, one of those telescoping mirrors. And I was talking about in my other video how I was thinking about rigging something to my helmet just to kind of get me by till I get to like a bike shop or something. That was gonna be kind of gaff. I wasn't sure if it was gonna work out well, but I seen it at the dollar store. It was $1. I figured, you know what, I'll grab that, another $1 for some zip ties. You know, I'll give it a shot. Worst case scenario, I lose out on a couple of bucks in 5 minutes of time. So I went ahead and put that together. And then there was another little hack that I did. Actually, it was a while ago. It was actually out in Seattle a few days back. I was having problems with my rack. So let me flip the camera over and I'll show you guys before I get on the bike, just so I don't forget. Hold on one sec. All right, so you can see the helmet there. So I just zip tied. I mean, again, it's pretty ghetto, but it's just to kind of get me by. I mean, if it lasts, I'll keep it, but if not, whatever. And then you can see the mirror there. So it's still telescopes. I go ahead and push it in and out. What I ended up doing was right here, right where it kind of pulls out of telescopes, I crimped it. So I just hit it with some pliers. I just tightened it a little bit with the pliers, and that made it where it was hard to pull in and out. So I could kind of set it to where I needed. And right here at the little bolt, I went ahead and clamped that down really tight. Only problem is it's not a bubble mirror, so I don't know how much I'm going to see behind me. Trying it out just now, looks like it works better if I close one eye. Not sure if that's like pretty standard or whatever, you know, with the whatever mirror I'm going to get, they're being that close to me. But yeah, I don't know, I'm going to give it a shot. And again, worst case scenario, I'll lose a couple bucks and I just look stupid for a day. Okay, so as far as the pannier goes, what I wanted to do was this piece right here busted on the inside. So I was letting this pull out. I don't know if you guys noticed it earlier. I was trying to point that out to you guys. So I wanted to take this one and swap it out because this one isn't as important as this one here. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to it. It looks like they probably put that in there before they bolt the rest of it down. So what I ended up doing is I just went ahead, clamped it down as hard as I could, and super glue the heck out of it. Seems to be like really tight now, so hopefully I'll go ahead and do it. fingers crossed. You know, if not, worst case scenario, I'll have to pick up another pannier. Or at least one of those little brackets, but it's pretty cheap, so I don't even know if I'll be able to get one. Still have the flat tire. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that in a second. I'll show you guys how I make out with that. But before I do, so this here, this is a cheapy bike. It didn't have the mounts for a really good that was the name of it, rear rack. So I had to get one of these that just adapt to it. You know, I go ahead and just clamp down. So it has the clamps here and the clamps there, but it keeps like loosening up, and I have to, every once in a while, I have to clamp it back down. And because it goes right here, instead of coming all the way down to the actual tire, it doesn't have that extra little, I don't know what you want to call it. Doesn't give it that extra like little bit of support to the pannier bag. So I noticed every once in a while the pannier bag would dig in and actually hit the friggin' spokes. Scared the crap out of me. I thought I busted my tire a couple of times. You know, if I hit a bump too hard or something, it'll kind of bounce a little bit. But I also noticed the way I had my bags packed on top was kind of loosening it up, making it easier to kind of jump off. But anyways, so what I ended up doing was I just went ahead and I picked up a dowel rod from Home Depot. You can see this is actually a piece of wood, and right in Home Depot I was able to cut it to the length I needed it. And I bought a couple of what do you call it, what the hell's the name of this, the bands, I guess, the band clamps, I think it's called. So I picked up a couple of those and a couple of the rods, and you can see it's on both sides. And I went ahead and I just clamped here, clamped on there, put that in there. I bought a dollop spray paint, sprayed it black before I did that, and working like gold. It's perfect now, no problem at all. Supports, prevents this from coming loose as easy as it did before. I still check it every other day or whatever, but prevents that, and it also gives it the bag some support, so it prevents it from kind of, you know, banging in if it loosens up or whatever. Been working great. Well, all right guys, those are my little hacks and fixes, which again, this is just to get me by to Mexico, then I'll get some proper gear. But for now, I'm just going to kind of hack it and just kind of learn as I go. All right, guys, let me go ahead and work on this bike, and I'll show you how I make out with that. Well, one other thing that I picked up, another little hack that I thought up, was I picked this up, this like little spatula thing from the dollar store. So I had something connected to it, like a little handle. I just pulled the handle off, and I could use this as a little scraper. I know they sell them at like REI, and I was actually going to pick one up, but I haven't come across an REI in a while, and I was at the dollar store, I saw it, and I noticed I could just pull right out. So I'm going to go ahead and test it out later. I don't see why it wouldn't work well though. So as soon as I'm done with my, you know, pasta or especially oatmeal, it all kind of sticks to the bottom. It's kind of a pain to just get it with the sponge. You got to constantly rinse it out and use up a lot of water. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use this little rubber spatula thing, whatever it's called, and scrape the inside. It fits perfectly all the way around, and just kind of, you know, toss out all the extra stuff. And then I'll hit it with a little piece of paper towel or the sponge or whatever, and it should cut the cleaning down by quite a bit and save me a little extra water, which is a little less than I need to carry. So another cool little hack. Alright guys, so I finally went ahead and took the tire apart. So this is what I found. Couldn't really pump it up to see if there was actually any little holes in it. Like I said, I did see some, like, you know, little pieces of metal in the tire. I mean, it wasn't too deep. It might have just been in the tire. But check this out. Bam. Traitor valve. Just about ripped completely off. And then when I went ahead and started taking it apart, the tube was like folded over. I don't know if maybe it was just a little too big, and at the factory they just stuffed it in or what. Yeah, that kind of sucked. No way of repairing this thing, so good thing I picked up a couple of tubes. So I went ahead and put that in. That loose little wobble on the hub, don't know if I did it right, but I just basically went ahead and just tightened it down. I was able to hold one side while I tightened it on the other. Let me flip it around. So what I did was I just so I took off the nuts on the outside. I was able to hold on this inside nut while I tightened the other one. And I over tightened, under tightened. I just got it to where it just kind of rolled nice and smooth without too much of a wobble, which I hope took care of it. Seems to be okay. Luckily, no issues with the ball bearings. But guys, I have no idea what I'm doing. So, if you guys have any good advice, please let me know. Another thing, these teeth aren't lining up exactly. I think is it supposed to be that way, where it's kind of offset a little bit. Not sure if I screwed it up or if it was like that, because I'm guessing this right here kind of holds it in. So any advice would be appreciated, guys. Another thing, some of the spokes were a little loose, so I just went ahead and tightened them all down. Whichever ones were a little loose. I didn't go too crazy with it, but again, I was having some wobble issues, so I just went ahead and tightened everything down. So if anything looks wrong, or if you think I did something wrong, or please let me know in the comments, guys. I really appreciate it. All right, let me put this back together. All right, guys. Well, I went ahead and fixed the flat. Nice and solid, no problems with it. Nothing's loose like it was. Still flowing pretty easy. So good thing I tightened that up. All the spokes seem okay. The only problem, and I had it since the beginning, is that it's pretty warped. So you can see it. See how it's kind of jumping? Big time. So I guess it has to get true to whatever. Hold on, let me flip this over. So I went ahead, I did my best. I don't know, I haven't changed the flat since I was like 14, 15. But went ahead, banged that out. Took care of everything else that I think I could handle. The only thing is that this tire is just so warped, man, and like I said, it's been like that since day one. I mean, I guess I could try and true it myself. You know, I think I checked out a couple YouTube videos where you gotta play with the spokes and everything else, but honestly, I think I'm just gonna take it to a bike shop, and it's been like this since day one for the last like couple of weeks or whatever since I had the bike. It's a cheapy bike. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take it to a bike shop and see what they have to say. Hopefully they go ahead and take care of it. Or maybe hopefully I ride it tomorrow and it's not that big of a deal and I can just keep going. I mean, I just need this to last me a month, you know, so. But we'll see. Everything else looking good. It's about 4:30 or so right now. So it took me like, I don't know, 45 minutes or so to take care of all these little things. I already went ahead and set up camp. Go ahead and grab a bite to eat, clean up, and upload this video. So if you guys have any tips, recommendations, or I'm sure I screwed up pretty bad, so if I did, you know, I'll appreciate all the help I could get, you know. And it could also help somebody else who's watching too who might not know. So alright guys, well, that's it for this one. Catch you next time. Peace.